Hello, welcome to a Vinyasa Yoga Flow. The focus today is going to be mostly around the ankles, the calves, the shins, the type of muscles that can get really tight from day to day if we are walking, running on our feet. So the biggest thing I want you to do is work within your range, work within your capabilities, respect your body's limitations. You should never be in pain, and just take rest as and when required, even if I've not said it. All you need is to have a yoga mat. If you've got one, you might want to have stuff like blocks or books or something that you might be able to lean or rest on. And that's it. So we're actually going to start lying down. So just make yourself comfortable. By the way, this new light thing, I got it new for one of my classes and thought it was cute to trying it out today. Just sit or lie down, preferably lie down. It can be on your back, on your side, or on your belly. And if you feel comfortable doing so, then just close down your eyes. You're just going to take a couple of minutes to just breathe. Again, if you're comfortable too with the eyes closed. Just taking a few minutes to just process how you're feeling in your body, in your mind. If you've had quite a stressful day or morning or a bad sleep or something like that where you're maybe holding on to some tension, maybe take a few breaths in through the nose and audibly out through the mouth. Could be good to just release tension through breath. Do as many of those as you like. Notice how your body is feeling. Are you quite fidgety, quite active, or are you feeling quite relaxed? Are your muscles quite tight, or are they feeling like they maybe need to work a little bit? Is your mind going at a mile a minute, or is it able to just find a little bit of stillness? I think you know as you've pressed play on this, so you know you've got the time and everything else can wait till later. This is time for you. We're going to be breathing and moving, again, respecting where our body is, respecting how we feel, respecting our movements. Not trying to force anything to try and fit a certain mold or a shape, but just always focusing on how it feels. And taking time like this to not be doing anything at all apart from just lying down on the ground is so good for just kind of finding the yang to the yin of life. It's in the opposites. If we're on the go a lot, we're really busy. It's finding that stillness, that calm. There's nothing wrong with having stress in the life as long as it's balanced with relaxation. And taking some time to just stop and do nothing. Even if you don't feel it happening, subconsciously, your heart rate starts to slow down a little bit. And that's where the nervous system starts to calm down, come closer to restoration, relaxation, and digestion. So take comfort in knowing that even if you find this stillness a little bit challenging, it's still doing so much beneficial things to your body. And take in a deep breath. Then as you breathe out, hug your right knee in towards your body. Give it a little squeeze. And your left leg can be stretched out long, or you might need to bring the foot in a bit closer to your body. Just a few slow circles of the ankles in one direction. And then slowly back the other way. And just point the toes and flex the foot. Point the toes and flex. And then pulling the toes up towards the shins. If you think of your toes pointing at 12 o'clock on a clock face, think of twisting your ankle around to 10 and 2. So rotating 10 and 2, just warming up and mobilizing through the ankle joint, making sure you're moving in your range that's pain-free. And let's switch sides, just stretch the right leg out long, have a little pause. Inhale, and as you exhale, hug the left knee in towards your body. Choose the position of your right foot, and then when you're ready, start to slowly make slow circles at the ankle joint. This is also known as calves or controlled articulate rotations. So it's not really fast moving, it's very slow, it's controlled. Go back in the other way. It's a way of finding our natural range of motion, and the more we practice our full range of motion that we're able to do, the more we can gradually over time start to increase it. It's okay if you get little clicks, and just avoiding pain. And then pointing the toes and flexing your foot. Next time your foot's at 12 o'clock, twisting round to 10 and 2. And then slowly release the leg. Just have a moment to pause. I'm going to roll on over into all fours. So make your way up, then bring shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. That's where I've got to get rid of my teddy bear slippers. Spread your toes as much as you can. Tuck your toes underneath you, and then just start to rock your weight backwards and forwards. So you feel a bit of a stretch into the toes, the arch of the foot, maybe even into the calves a little bit. And again, it might be that you need to move really small. You might be able to move bigger than I am. Just find a rhythm in your breath, in through the nose and out through your nose. Notice if your range improves. And then just release, untuck the toes, just gently bang the feet into the floor. And finding a bit of stillness. Slip back on towards your heels if you can. If you struggle with this, you can go into a child's pose, maybe shift your weight further forwards. And if not, come into an ankle stretch. So take your hands behind. Just going to lift the knees off the floor and then lower them back down again. So lifting the shins away from the floor and lowering back down. So whichever one we're in, we're aiming to feel that stretch around the ankle, the shins, the kind of top of the foot. And again, pain through range. And then release, walk your hands forward, spread your fingers a lot, tuck your toes under again, and lift hips up to downward facing dog. Tuck in your chin, let the head relax, thinking looking through the knees. And then just paddle out the feet. So push one heel towards the floor and switch legs. Keep alternating. You might be able to get the heel down to the floor and you might not, but looking to feel the stretch down the back of the legs. Breathing in through nose and out through nose. And now slowing the legs down, make the movement a little bit smaller until you gradually find your level. And we're just going to lift both heels, bend both knees, and take as many steps forward as you need to come into a forward fold. So you're stepping forward to the front of your mat, either feet together or hip distance. And then tuck your chin again, think nose facing the knees. Maybe nod your head a little bit, shake your head a little bit just to release the neck. And roll up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Arms by your side, palms turned forward, mountain pose. Breathe in and stretch your arms up over your head. And breathe out, sit your hips back and down to chair pose. Now naturally we tend to arch the back a lot, so tuck your bum under and bring your ribs down towards your hips, even if that means you're a little bit higher. We're just going to walk the feet out again, so lift one heel, land it and switch to the other leg. So we're going to start again, moving through the ankle joints, starting to contract the muscles in the calves. And naturally, of course, as well, you're going to feel a bit of burning or heat coming into your thighs. Keep breathing. And gradually find stillness. Bend your knees and fold forward, lifting the hips, tucking in the chin. Step your right foot way back to a low lunge. Push the heel away and then point the foot. So you're going to push back, point, press the heel away and point. Again, working the ankle joint, feel a little stretch in the calf. And now push the heel back and then land the heel down towards the mat. So it's going to land towards the middle of your mat. Push into the left leg and lift up to warrior one. So warrior one, we're always aiming for a squared hip position. So we're trying to make our hips face the front of the mat. And that might mean you need to take your feet wider or maybe even shorten your stance to help you get that position. Your left knee wants to be over the ankle and then the right foot is in a position that means you can square. And then arms are just lifted overhead. We're going to go for that heel lift again. So this time the left heel is going to lift away from the ground and land. Lift and lower. How high you lift is up to you. It might be just a micro lift. It might be that it's like wearing stiletto heels. I'm going to just lift and hold. Hold it. And if your knee's shifted back so it's no longer over the heel, just push the knee forwards. Your right leg, make sure it still stays strong. Push the leg away. Fire up that back leg. Few more breaths. And then land the heel, land the hands down, lift the right heel and press back to downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees and step your right foot between the hands. Now, to struggle to get the foot all the way there and you come part way, just drop the left knee down, pick up the foot and help it until the knee is over the ankle. Oh, I'm like a scary movie, the lights in my face. And then I'm just going to lift the left knee off and rock a little bit forward and back again. Breathing in as you rock forward, breathing out as you rock back. And then push the heel back and land the heel down towards the floor. Rise up, warrior one. Inhale as you do. Notice if your hips twisted open. And just take time to set up your feet. To try and square your hips as much as possible. Right knee over ankle. Take a moment to breathe, hold, just find your strength and find your as closed hip as you can. And then inhale, lifting right heel. Exhale and landing. Breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you lower. And choose the speed of motion to match your breath. And then breathe in, and next time the heel's lifted, hold it there. It is a tough pose, it's a strong position. So you do need to breathe really powerfully. You don't hold your breath. Breathe in deeper and breathe out all the way. Really empty it out. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, land the heel, land the hands. Back to downward facing dog. Press your weight back. Tuck your chin at the head, relax, and then roll your weight forward to plank. Shoulders come over the wrists. Just check that the back hasn't arched or the hips haven't sagged. So you're going to lift the hips up higher. So line the shoulder, tuck your pelvis. And everyone drop knees to the floor, release your feet, and bend your elbows, lower yourself as smooth as you can down to the ground. Squeeze your butt, lift your chest in baby cobra, and then lower your chest back down. Do that again, breathe in as you lift. Try not to use your hands here. And breathing out as you lower. One more time. And press back to a child's pose. Pushing back towards your feet. Relaxing your hand. A child's pose can be knees together or knees apart. Arms in front or arms behind. And also, if you can't sit all the way back, of course, your hips might be a little bit further forward. When you feel ready, spread your fingers, tuck your toes, and lift hips to downward facing dog again. Lifting the tailbone, tuck your chin, nose through knees, and just paddle out the feet. So lots of people kind of look forward a little bit, straining the neck. So again, just let the head hang. And then holding, finding stillness. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and then walk or jump your feet between the hands. Take as many steps as you need. Just hang out and fold forwards. Breathe in, extended mountain. Breathe out, hips back and down, chair pose. Tuck your pelvis, tuck your chin. We're going to walk out the heels again. Or if you're looking for, or you feel ready for more, you just want to try the challenge, try lifting both heels at the same time and landing both at the same time. So that's an option if you'd like to advance. Inhaling, exhaling, not holding the breath when it gets tough. Now everyone just try lifting both heels off, even if it's just a tiny bit. There might be loads. If you need to be just on the one, switch now. One more breath. And land the heels and lift your hips and fall forwards. Tuck your chin. Step your right foot way back. Drop the heel towards the ground again and then cartwheel your arms up. Warrior two. Oh my God, it looks scary in the shadow. So you're looking for the left knee to be over the ankle still, but warrior two is an open hip instead of a closed hip. So we're trying to pull the right hip back. Hip bones want to try and be level. So they tend to be like this, on a bit of a wonk, and want to just level them off. If that means, again, shortening your stance so you can help, or adjusting your foot, then go with that. Are you able to see me in this dark? I can't really tell. So I'm going to sacrifice the cool. Actually, I think it's just my sofa, so I might not sacrifice the cool. But you're going to try again that heel lift, a little heel lift, and then land on the heel again. Again, it may be that there's just the smallest amount, like just a bit of paint poking out underneath. It might be that your full still has a heel underneath, just lifting and lowering. And then we're going to lift and hold. Take a few breaths. And land your left heel, shift your weight over your left leg, and shift all your weight into your left leg. Open your arms, and we're going to try and balance. So you're going to float the right leg up, and it might be that you need to tap down a lot and you want to stay a little bit closer to the floor. You may be able to lift the leg higher and tip further. So floating halfway, and anytime we balance, the foot that's on the floor is constantly working to help stabilize ourselves. So that's where it's strengthening around the ankle joint, really good. But if you do things like you've sprained an ankle, rolled an ankle, or you commonly do, it's nice to really strengthen and will help prevent those in future. Now we're just going to turn the chest, turn the hips to face towards the floor to aeroplane. Hip rolls down. You may have lost your balance, in which case just tap down or you come in when you can. Knee to chest, stand up tall, lift your right knee towards the chest, lift your right heel. Right heel, what's this thing called? Knee. And then just from it, try a little heel lift. And then land. Land both feet down. Just take a moment to breathe. Let it go. It's tough. Let's do it again on the side. So we breathe in, extend the mountain. Breathe out, bend your knees and fold forwards, tucking in the chin. Inhale, step your left foot way back. Drop the left heel towards the floor and cut all the arms up. Warrior two. I'm going to go back to the vibe. Give me a feedback for whether or not you prefer vibe or no vibe. Right knee over the heel. Take time, really do take time. We've got the time to try and make so the hips level. Check your left hip. Again, it tends to be higher than the right, so we're trying to get them level. Check the right knee is over the heel. Left leg's really strong. And then try that little heel lift. Lift your right heel up and lower it down. So by the way, you may have faced me one way and now be facing away. And that's okay as well. I've just turned to face you. And that's okay if you want to do that too. Everything's okay. Next time you lift it, hold. May need to push the knee a bit further forward again. Strong pose. What do we need? Strong breath. Not gentle, not soft. Really deep inhales. Powerful exhales. And then land the right heel, shift your weight forward over the right leg, and then shift until you can, open the arms, and then balance. And maybe it's small, maybe it's a lot. It's really hard, by the way. Sometimes people, when they want to work on their balance, they want to hold on to something. And that actually doesn't really require the same strength. So I would rather you are in the middle of your room and you tap down 1,000,001 times, but you're trying, rather than holding on for support. If you are near something to hold on, it's easier to step away because you naturally gravitate towards the thing if it's there. So take in a deep breath, and as you breathe, that's start to turn to airplane. Hips and square to the floor. Breathe. Just laugh off if you lose your balance. Just smile, get in again. And then knee to chest, bring the knee forward and up, reach your arms up. And then just try a little heel lift. And land. Land both your feet together, taking a breath. Exhale, just let it go. Now breathe in, extended mountain. Breathe out, bend your knees and dive forward, forward fold. Tuck your chin. Step back both feet to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up high. We're going to pedal out the feet again. One heel, the other heel towards the floor. And then gradually just find stillness. And see how much stretch you can get in the calves. So see how close you can get your heels to the floor without forcing it. And if you're able to get them down, try lifting your toes off. Just take a few more breaths. Then we're going to come to all fours. Shift your weight forward. Bring your knees down. And your toes should be tucked, but just spread them. Make sure they're not clumped together or not. Well, some of the toes are, I want to say missing, but like not tucked under. I'm going to sit back again. Instead, we're going to hold. So you might be further forward, this might be perfect. You might be further back. You might be able to come up, up, up. And keep it pain-free. It is also called broken toe pose. I'm not looking to break any toes. If it feels like it's going to break, or it feels like you're just like, oh my god, I can't hold, please just take some of the weight in your hands instead. Take some release off the feet. Just breathe. One more breath. Hey, everyone, just bring your hands, come back to all fours, untuck the toes, or bang the feet off the floor again. And slow the feet down. We're finishing how we did, but instead of dynamically stretching, we're holding. So ankle stretch, which again, that might be for you as a child's pose is plenty. If not, sit back to your heels, bring your hands behind and lift the shins away. Support your hands as much as you need. So it might be that your shins lift hardly at all. You might be able to have hands behind. You might even be able to come to your forearms. We're lifting and holding. This isn't really good one if you get shin pain. Just really stretch out the muscles down the front of the shins. Position that feels like it's stretching, doesn't feel like you're in pain. You can still breathe, not having to hold your breath. And release. We're going to finish how we started. Just lying down on the ground. Just swing your legs round. You can lie on your side or front your back. You can even stay sitting. Roll your way down onto your back. Maybe hook your knees in. Give a few little ankle rolls again. They have worked hard and been stretched. And then when you're ready, just land your feet to the floor. And move around until you feel really comfortable. The more comfortable you get, the more you are able to relax. So Shavasana is traditionally legs long, feet wider than hips, arms are just wider than your body with palms up. But you can go in any position if it's more comfortable. The benefit comes from just staying still, not being stimulated by anything, and just being in quiet. So all you need to do is breathe and be. Just take a few more breaths and maybe see if you can draw any comparisons to how your mind and your body feels compared to the start. And when you feel ready to move again, and you could stay here longer if you like, just wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe do any kind of stretching or gentle movement that might feel good. When you're ready to make your way up into a sitting, I'd always encourage just either reclosing the eyes or closing the eyes just for one more moment and just take one more breath before you get going again, in through the nose as deeply as you can. And let it go. Slowly blinking eyes open. Thank you very much. Well done.